Just the morning thoughts, take two with the landscape view. Here's the mountains I've just been in. Bye mountains. And I'm riding down this sweet downhill, it's all pretty easy. I'm going to ride on past through Hanmer to Christchurch. So I just had some thoughts this morning, which was that there was this frozen lake, or just like a pond thing with reeds growing out of it. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to put the camera on the tripod and set it up videoing and then throw a stone in there and then freeze frame the point where it breaks the ice and shards of ice are thrown in all directions, and that's kind of geeky and cool. And then I thought, well, hang on, what would be the repercussions for that ecosystem if I did that? If I just threw a rock in there when there hadn't been a rock in there for the last million years. I mean, sure, that pond probably sees more action than these hills that no one ever climbs up. I mean, the odd goat probably goes up this hill. But some of these hills wouldn't be anyone going up them. They're pretty rocky. And I thought of those TV series like what's it called? I can't even remember now. But like there's Stargate, and there's the one with that kind of quirky guy who is his quirky friend, and he always, he's like, oh no, because he goes through some time and space tunnel thing, and then he's like, oh no, I'm in this other land again, I have to deal with it. And he's always very careful when he's in that other time, just as McFly was very careful not to change anything, or at least his professor was telling him not to change anything, and he was listening some of the time. And the idea was that if you change something in the past, it could change the future in a negative way. Of course, sometimes he would change the future in a positive way, but there was more of a risk of not knowing whether it would be negative or positive, and just better not to try it in case it's negative. And I kind of thought, well, I don't know if this is something all these guys are going for when they're doing these sci-fi ideas, trying to impart some lessons that people like me are just really stupid and takes them a long time to get these lessons. But I think they're saying, is don't change this world now, because changing this world now will change the future, and you don't know how it will change the future. And so it's best just to change as little as possible, so that future generations have as much stability as possible. In changing one little thing, no matter how inconsequential, if that's a word, of course it's a word, no matter how small, could really just set everything on a completely different path. So so I don't think we should be changing things as much as we are, and I think when we're talking about being sustainable and things, those are things that we've changed, I suppose, and we've decided that these are the things we're going to change, and these are the things we're going to continue to change, and there don't seem to be any side effects to that, so it's safe to change those things. But it's like this mad rush towards making as much money as possible and just changing anything where there might be any stone where there's some money underneath it, it's worth turning over. Well, that's really risky, because you just don't know what repercussions that's going to have in the future. So these are just my thoughts in the mountains. I'm pretty much out of the mountains, to be honest, but I think when I ride through these places, I really try and change as little as possible. Like if there's a fireplace that someone set up, then I'll light a fire in the same place. If there's a campsite, I'll camp in the same place. But I'm not going to go and camp in the middle of this. Well, definitely not in the wetlands, but I'm not going to go camp over there just for the sake of it, just because I could. Because you're going to trample something that lives under there. And likewise, if I see someone who's thrown a bottle out the car window and it's just lying in the bush, I'm not looking too closely because my bag's already full of bottles that have been thrown in the bush. Then I'll pick it up, because what's the side effect of that thing staying there for 100 years? Anyway, it's just a nice morning thought.